Maybe the question we need to ask, very concerned, like question is, we want to ask is, are they going to heaven? Or this? And we didn't add in 一个 可以吗？ very sticky now， 这个现在变成是神学的答案了。可能是的 different 是应该看一下，就是要看 maturity 的，不是他的salvation 那个意思，它不是 salvation 的 question。如果是 salvation question 很简单了 ，either you are going to heaven 还是你不去 ，you are not going。刚才你刚才有个 sharing， 刚才就是讲到在马太福音讲到是I do not know you， 然后 those who call unto me, Lord, Lord, will not necessarily enter the heaven 嘛。So there might be 很多这种的 so-called Christian， Okay, so they are like by name 这样的，可能他们的 action， they look alike, they looks like Christian， 但是真不真是 belonging to Christ and born again， 其实是有一个test 的，他说那个 test 就是。By their fruits. By their fruits, you will know who they are. 你就知道他是不是真的。他说是好树不能打坏果子，对吗？坏树不能打好果子。让一个方式去解释就是 Christian 不会打 worldly， 好像非信徒的 fruits。非信徒的 worldly people 也不会打真正的 Christian 的fruits. So maybe we are looking in this side. 这个是 a question of perseverance 因为这个是有一个doctrine is the doctrine of perseverance. That means am I safe? Once safe is always safe, or am I halfway? If I fail or disobey, will I lose my salvation? That's the question for the doctrine of perseverance. The questions of whether God will make sure that you will be safe all the way to end, or is it a lot depends on you? Because there are, I'm going to use English, sorry. It's easier to speak. You all can understand English, right? Last time did we use English? Yeah. Sorry. So there are a lot of denomination splits, and Christianity splits. It's based on this question also. Am I saved? Once saved, always saved. That means when I accepted Christ and I'm born again, I'll be always ensure I will be going to heaven, even if I have been disobedient. I am not a disciple maker. I don't even do the practices or commands that Christ has given. So that is one viewpoint. The other viewpoint says that yes, you accept Christ, you have the certainty of being a Christian, and you will be accepted to Christ if you keep your faith all the way to the end, faithful to the end. And if you give up halfway, you will be like what in the scriptures say, those who have tasted and all the goodness of his power and then turn against God or turn away. Say this is quite impossible for them to be reconciled again. So the question here, probably we are not talking about are we going to heaven, but talking about this one, maturity. And very truly, you have mentioned just now, it seems like there are many stages of maturity. 可能是我们看得到是 the simplest stage is a baby, right? Baby Christian. That is the new Christian just accept Christ. No. Then maybe the next step is a young Christian. He's just a young Christian, just growing, learning how to pray and all those stuff. No, because in a baby, he doesn't even know how to pray. He just know he's a Christian, and if no one ever going to tell him, so he's not going to know. So maybe this one is better. The young Christian begins to know how to pray. Okay, I can pray. I know to read the Bible. Okay, so maybe that's about it. And then I make sure I go to church. Maybe I go to church. Okay, and maybe that would move to the next level of maturity. Actually, we call them the growing, disciple. They are learning to be a disciple of Christ. We will talk about who is a disciple later. Okay, so we're learning to be a disciple. That means he's following after Christ's commands or teachings. So he's growing to be a disciple. And maybe there is another stage whereby we call, we put it as, they are disciple, but they are more than just a disciple, they are disciple makers. They go and make disciples, they go and turn, help all Christians to become makers. That's the aim. If you look at this state, you will realize, maybe there is a difference now when you put it this way. So there's a difference to mature. Remember, I show you the last time, the one, remember this one, right? Right. So at least I know, right? I have this stage here, and there is also this stage, but there might be also more stage. Let me show you. Just it's the same what we have done, but you've seen there is this stage is unbeliever, definitely, but this stage is like baby Christian. They are very baby. This is just learning to be a young Christian. This is baby of Christians growing. But this one is learning to be a disciple. And one more, actually, I didn't draw in here. It's called the maker. It's growing towards that. So I'm going to wait till I will do this later, but I want you to recognize there are some differences here. Because why? 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. Paul is talking. So he's talking to who? He's talking to young Timothy. Timothy was very young, But Timothy followed Paul wherever he goes for a few years. But Paul actually command or instruct Timothy. He said, Timothy, now you're going to look for who? You're going to look for faithful men. Faithful men. These are people who are faithful. Because you are going to do what? You are going to entrust. You are going to entrust to them something to do. And what is that to do? He said they should be able to teach others. So Paul here, he actually disciple in a way Timothy, and finally he is going to break this because he cannot be with Timothy anymore. So he say, now you're going to carry on this task, and your job is to entrust, and then so that this faithful man can teach. But remember, Timothy, you are not supposed to teach them. You are not supposed to do that. You are supposed to train up this group, entrust to them. You train them up so that they will go and do the job. If you look carefully, Did you see a resemblance here? Do you see the resemblance here? Paul is a disciple maker. He's discipling Timothy, who was a growing disciple. Now, Paul felt that Timothy is ready and he can no longer be able to be with Timothy, so he gives him this instruction. So now you must go and disciple the young Christian to the point that they should be able to teach others. In other words, to say, he's trying to say, Timothy, you imitate me. You imitate me, do as I have done. You tell them, so that eventually this faithful man will also imitate you. And eventually this group of others will also imitate you. And all of them are aimed to imitate just like Paul. Why? Because Paul is imitating Paul. And this is Jesus' method. He teaches disciples so that the disciples can go and teach others and teach others and teach others. So you see, if we look at it, there is a difference because of maturity. But go back to the question we asked just now. There is no difference in all these terms, okay? All these terms, because they are all children of God. They are all followers. In other words, they are all interchangeable. You can use it interchangeable. You say it's a disciple? Yes, a disciple is the one who follows Christ. A one who follows Christ is also a Christian. And a Christian should be believing in Christ. So if he believes in Christ, he should follow Christ. And if he follows Christ, he must learn to be a disciple. So if you learn to be a disciple, you are called by others Christian. Because the name Christian actually was not a name given by Paul or by anybody that time. It was, name is like a nickname. It's a nickname given by the people around because they are the people who follow Christ. They are the people belonging to the way. So the people around their community then give them this name. They are Christians and they are called Christian in Antioch from that point on. So by right, all these names should not have any difference because it's talking about one group, children of God, one group of people. But inside this group, there are a lot of difference in terms of maturity. We have people who are just babies. We have people who are just learning, still this one is taking milk, And then this one is just learning to take porridge. And now this one is taking big chicken, eating chicken, fried chicken, tough meat. But this one is different because why? They are cooking. They know how to cook so that they can give to others and they can pass to others. If you honestly look at this simple chart I've drawn to you, where do you think you are? One, two, three, four, or maybe you are five. You see the problem in our modern day church. Our problem is this: we all stop here. That's it. We are happy to be a disciple. We always want to be growing. We always want to be a disciple and keep eating chicken or whatever, all the good food offered by good speaker, good pastor, good preacher, good seminar, everything. So they just makan. So they are always enjoying what we call this, they are always enjoying the buffet lunch. But cooking, they don't know. Because why? They always think that cooking belongs to the pastors, or the Bible school or lecturers, or maybe it's a Sunday school teacher, or maybe it's a Bible school teacher or trainer or that. But as a normal Christian, well, this is my goal. That's all. That's the problem. Let me share with you. Let me see. Let me close this. So far, before I go on, you have a question? Simple enough, right? And you know where you are, right? You also know where you should be, right? It's just something is holding you back from doing that, right? And afterward, we will try to answer that question. What is holding me back from becoming actually what should be this way? Okay, let me see where's my controller? Where's my controller? Oops. Here. Let me share with you something, and then I'm going to ask you to make a choice. So imagine Sarawak has a lot of rich people, right? Right or not? Hello.
Selangor is richer.
Selangor is richer? No, Sarawak, a lot of tycoon over there, right?
Cebu richer.
Cebu is richer, right? Okay. Let me share screen with you. Where is my controller again? Okay, here you go. Let me share screen. I need another screen. No, 2 is not enough. I need 3 or 4, maybe better. Okay. Oops. Okay, DiscipleMAKER question. So imagine actually there is a very rich person and he's going to write his will, okay? And he's going to bless you and your church. And he's going to give you 2 options. I know some of you have seen this before, but if you know the answer, well, if you have seen it and you have been asked these questions, so you just keep it to yourself. Let those who have not seen it before try to answer this. So a rich guy actually want to bless your church and want to bless your ministry or your small group. And he actually wants to give you gifts. So he said, I'm going to let you choose 2 options. So first option is he said, well, I'm going to give you in 1 whole month every day. I'm going to give you $100,000. Okay, you want quite. Okay, so every day, tap hali, no fail for 31 days. Are you happy or not? You don't seem to look happy now. You are questioning why he wants to give you. You are asking whether should you receive. You also are wondering maybe after that, do I have to pay tax or no, all this stuff. So you would rather not to receive anything, right? Let's assume they're going to give you these 2 options, okay? So 31 days, 100,000 per day. So how much do you think by the end of 31st days, how much total would you think you have collected or you have received for a blessing? Mathematics.
3.1 million.
3.1 million. Okay, good. Wow, not bad, huh? So you get 3.1 million. Then he said the second option is this. He said, nope, I'm not going to give you the whole lump sum, not like that, but I'm going to give you 1 cent a day, okay? So starting first day, I'm going to do 1 cent, but I will double that 1 cent every next day. So the next day is always double over to the previous day. So that means on the first day you receive 1 cent, then second day you have 2 cents, and then third is 4, and then 8, 16, 32, 64, 1,024. So these are cents, okay? So 1分钱 also. So on the 10th day, you are receiving somewhere about $5.12. And on the 20th day, you are receiving from this rich guy, and he gives you 5,242 on the 20th day. So you have another 11 more days to go. So which option would you choose? Those who choose option 1, raise your hand. Those who choose option 2. So both those who doesn't want anything. So I guess you know the answer. I mean, by right, option 1 is very appealing. Don't you think so? Because you see the money immediately. On the first day, you already see 100,000. Second day, 200,000, 300. Wow. You see it on the 10th day, you already got 1 million already. Right? So you see that immediate blessing, immediate. But on the 10th day, you look at this second option, right? Wow, you only have $5, and then you look at your neighbor, your friend next to you. Now he chose option 1. He already is receiving 1,000. He can enjoy the 1 million. 1 million already, right? But on the 30th day, option 2. You should be receiving 10.7 million. And that did not put into consideration what you have received so far each day. So when you total up all the 31 days, each day you have received, you are receiving somewhere around that. So there is something about the multiplication process. There's something, it's not much more than just being addition. But today we love to see addition. We love to see big straight away. Now, why would I want to focus only on one person? So might as well every day 3,000 people come to Christ. Wow, isn't that great? 3,000 people attending your event or your church or whatever you organize every day, 3,000. And if you should do that, every day you have 3,000 souls added to the kingdom. Since Pentecost, when Peter preached his first message there. So if Peter has been reaching 3,000 souls per day, until today, he would only reach somewhere around 2.1 billion people, hardly come close to the population of this world. However, if you start with yourself, you just focus on one person a year, focus on one person a year, and make sure that one person will imitate you. Make sure that one person will learn from you and do like you have been doing with him. Imitate you and do likewise. And if you go do that, you realize that if nobody else is doing in this group, let's say you are the only one who is doing it, okay? And you focus, then by next year around this time, okay, you already have 2 disciples and you're going to start on another one and ask him to go and find another one. And you should be able to reach the whole population of this world in 34 years. That means if you are 30 years now, so by the age before your retirement is 65, you have reached the whole world. But this is talking only by one disciple. What if 2 of you actually started this? So if 2 of you started the multiplication process, you will notice actually it takes much lesser time. See that? So if you notice, we know in our hearts, option 2 is the best. But in our eyes, we think option 1 is better. Because by our eyesight, we can see 3,000 immediately. But If option 2, I hardly see anything in the next 5 years. Nothing much. Compare 5 years down the road, this one already reaching 15,000. So it's already. So we are caught in this problem of only wanting to add. So we focus a lot on big groups and not so much about duplication. So that's why I mentioned here. You see, Paul and Barnabas and all his work, right? You notice he taught Timothy to teach, faithful men to teach others. But most of the time in our church today, it stops. We have a lot of Timothys in the church. We have a lot of capable people, just like Timothy. They are actually to the point they can pastor a church. They can care for a whole group of believers or young believers. But it stops there because it didn't pass on. Because if it didn't pass on, then our work always got stuck. We will not reach very far. So I would really like you to reconsider seriously is how to let others imitate your life. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, 11 verse 1 says, imitate me as I am of Christ. But you will say in your heart, of course lah, Paul, yeah, who are you talking about? You're talking about Paul, the one who wrote most of the New Testament. Of course he can. So, but then you will have to ask the question, who is Paul really? Paul is involved in the death of Stephen, right? Paul is also involved in arresting a lot of Christians. Paul is involved in closing churches. Paul doesn't have much a good example to imitate, really, right? When he first accepted Christ, right, he became a Christian. A lot of people are scared of him. So, are you sure this Paul actually are born again now? So nobody wants to get close to Paul. Only Barnabas offer. Barnabas offered his hand to say, okay, let me take him in. Let me guide him. Let me just follow up a bit. But did Barnabas spend a lot of time to follow up Paul? Yes. If you look at Acts, if you read carefully, in the beginning part of the Acts, actually they are listed as Barnabas and Paul. Barnabas is first listed. Then along the way, after the first missionary, then the second missionary journey goes on, and the tone change. Then now it starts to say Paul and Barnabas. So when they broke up, then they got into argument. So Barnabas took another one. So Paul took another one because Barnabas wanted to take John Mark. But Paul said, no way, this John, he gave up. He quit halfway. I'm not going to take a quitter, into my group. But Barnabas have a very encouraging heart. No, give him a second chance. He have learned his lesson. So they fought and a sharp argument, the scriptures say. So ended up what? Barnabas and Paul split it up. Barnabas discipled John Mark, and Paul discipled Silas. And the story goes on. Eventually, at the end of the day of the book, you realize Paul even commented about John Mark. He said he will be a very helpful, even though he has a very strong opinion towards that. So we have us to see that, right? There is, if I'm reading the New Testament correctly, there is not a lot of fixed program listed in the New Testament. Mostly are just simply one person cares for another Christian. A more mature Christian caring for another younger one, teaching them just as the commission says, teach them to obey all that Jesus has commanded. That's it. So there is a passing on idea there. So that's why maybe we need to change a bit of our focus now. We must have to change a bit from just focusing me as a recipient. What can I get? What can I receive? Now turn towards what can I give out? maybe that is what I need to focus. Because most of the time we will feel we are not qualified, correct? Am I speaking right? Let me ask you, who is qualified? Would you have chosen the 12th disciple if you were Jesus? Definitely not, right? Because none of them qualify. Because the factor is not really me, you know, whether I can or not. It's the factor of God working in you. Okay, so let me just put up back here the screen here. Okay. Before I move on, let me take one question from you first. Don't write Mandarin. I have no idea what you're writing. I will have a better chance to understand Greek than to understand Mandarin.
I thought you read Mandarin, John.
Huh?
I thought you can read Mandarin.
Oh, read is easy. Understanding is another thing. Right? I only can read maybe 40-50% of the words. One sentence, maybe 4 words only. So the rest is just tempa.
Well, usually you can tempa quite accurate.
Okay. But when we are dealing with eternal life, better not. Okay. So I'm trying to help you to recognize here. First of all, the strategy is here. This is Paul's strategy. First, 2 Timothy 2:2 and 1 Corinthians 1:1. This is the strategy God has given us, and it has proven it works. That's why it comes all the way to here in Sarawak. You have people who are able to talk to you about Christianity long time ago. So the strategy is there, but the question is how and why it didn't work. Maybe we start with this one first. Can you all give me some reason why it didn't work? The discipleship method of this one. Okay, Paul reaching Timothy, reaching faithful men and others. It's actually a generations of a family. Paul as being the grandfather, fathering Timothy, who now becomes a father, who actually taking care of his son, spiritual son, who now actually beginning to have his own children. So in other words, we are making disciples to spiritual, okay, family multiplication. So you and I and every one of us should have spiritual children. Everyone should have spiritual children. Paul regard Timothy as his spiritual son. So we have 2 ways. One is you give birth, okay, through birth, new birth, born again. When you share Christ, they are born again, so you father them, okay. Or the other one, you go and find from the orphanage. We have many orphanages today. Church. How many of you have been discipled by someone else before? Man, anybody? Me, only one. Alicia, only one. I mean, disciple, follow up by somebody since you have become a Christian. Somebody come and follow you up. Maybe it's not just one person, maybe a few. It helped you to grow to the point you can stand on your own as a disciple. How many of you have been? I'm not talking about you just attending Sunday school class or attending this. Or attending, you really have a personal mentor. You really have somebody, a trainer or coach. No, not talking about Sunday school class, all this, because that one is like open wide, anybody can join. How many of us has been in a personal? Yes, me, got mentor, good. Alicia, all right.
I think
Well,
throughout my life, there have been a number of people at different stages.
yes.
Yeah. So there is not a particular one that really, well, I'll say, yeah, one of them really helped me during a very critical period, helped me to mature in a short period of time. But over the years, there have been some who had helped me along the way, and they are my mentors.
Yep. So these are your mentors, are called spiritual fathers. So you have many spiritual fathers or guardians, maybe would be a better word, right? You have a lot of spiritual guardians. That's true. Many of us are that. I'm not sure about the others because I'm observing in many churches. I mean, as far as the churches I'm concerned, right? The way to follow up somebody or to disciple somebody is to get them into a class. That's it.
Yeah.
And hopefully if they join enough classes or courses or seminars or all these workshops, they will hopefully become mature. It's like putting babies, into the buffet dinner table. Okay, hopefully if they eat something, they will grow up. So as long as we make sure the food in the buffet are all healthy food, okay, we don't simply dump, but just put them all into that room. Let them eat. And then there's another room. Eat again. And eventually what? We ended up what we call fat children, fat babies. Because they can never learn to be a spiritual father because they have no example to father them. So that's why the method of discipleship now is actually basically classroom. And the method of evangelism is events. We're missing the personal fatherhood, fathering. We miss that. So we have produced a lot of what we call, you heard a lot about this, a single parent. We don't even have single, a lot of orphans don't know how to be a parent themselves. So the best way is send them to learn some courses about parenting. That's it. That's the best way to teach them. So let me get it clear. I'm not saying this one is not good. I'm not saying all these are good. These are absolutely good, but they are tools. They cannot replace this one. They cannot replace personal touch. They are tools to equip you. They are tools to equip the spiritual father so that they can do better in caring or nurturing the spiritual children. So these are good, but we are missing. It's like we are going for training in a military school. We learn how to shoot a gun. We know how to do all those courses, but we have never been into a battle before. We have never seen a battle before. We have never seen somebody shot before. We have never seen a person really in the midst of a war zone and who got shot, and then some other the medic come and revive them. We have never seen that because everything is done on the screen in the classroom. I am quite privileged. Put it this way, I came to know God when the age of 20, and I attended the church. I mean, I grew up in that church, the Baptist church. It was a very strict church, very also conservative church. But nevertheless, they don't focus on classroom. They focus on personal touch. The moment I become a Christian, I told them I'm a Christian. That's the very moment they jump in. I have people, I can name those people who, like Kai, you say, come across my life to follow up me. No, Stephen is one. Okay. And then who else? Ellen. And then I have also Foreman. And then I have also Sally. I have also, I mean, the list goes on, and then along the way inside there is Clement. There's also my pastor, Pastor Thomas. And all these are just contributing to this little man called Johnny. That was my name, Johnny. So they followed me until I copy their example. I copy the example, then I go and follow up others. Now you know them, Kim Ting, Andrew, and do the same thing. Because I have seen them done to me. I've seen them, they are not like those like, we are in a discipleship course. It's going to be a 10-week, 10-session course. So we have to finish in 3 months. So we are on chapter 1. No. They are just with me. That's all. They are with me. So we have a lot of time to talk about my problems, my spiritual problems. So that's why I keep mentioning when we go out for coffee or tea, right? Or go for wantan mee, we talk about spiritual things. We talk about all these things. And that's where I learn the most. They talk about temptation. I talk about all this, what we all face, all challenge, everything. And they take me. They took me anywhere they go, Clement. Especially Thomas Chin. Okay, this one is my pastor. He baptized me. He took me. I was just about 2 years old Christian. He took me to Singapore to attend evangelism courses. He took me to Korea. He actually asked the council, very weird, asked the council to send me to Malacca to learn about what I'm sharing with you right now. He also asked them to send me to Singapore to learn about EE. This is Master Life. And I have learned. And then now I realize I can use it to help others the same thing. So the personal touch is absolutely important. My pastor did not taught, he taught Sunday school class or that. That's very normal preaching. But actually, he only discipled 6 persons. When the time in Sanakan, only 6 persons, not counting myself, 6 persons. And all these 6 persons now become today church leaders, also discipling others, teaching others. But the problem is we must not stop in just being a disciple. We cannot just stop here. We cannot. If we stop here, we are not doing the commission. The commission goal actually is disciple maker. That's the commission goal. So if you want to stand before God, okay, to have that reward from God, you must be able to do that. Salvation is free. Reward has to be earned. And now's the time. If you don't earn it right now, you lose the years. You do not know the number of your years left, correct? If you should go tonight, you might end up with nothing. To let God say something, He will only say, welcome home. Or you can make the choice to say, ask God so that you work now, so that on that day, He will not just say, welcome. He will say, well done. If you want God to be able to reward you and say, well done, then it must be something you have done. You have to start from you right now. So the first question, Why are we not doing that? What will be some of the obstacles? Can you throw it out and mention to the group? What do you think are some of the problems? Why? I mean, we will try to figure out and see what are the why no. Why no DM? Okay, why no DM? No disciple making? Let's list that out here. Oh, I got one answer already. It called quietness and silence. No answer. That's why. Oh, you are very quiet there. You are all very 听话 Is that the typical way, right? Sarakian like that.
Actually, they put all the answers in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see it. Chinese again. No.
No, not Chinese.
Chat box say need extra time. Okay, I put down here. Okay, sorry. No, not this. So time, the time factor, right? Correct. So one reason. Okay, what else? Oh, no focus. Okay, focus. Okay, no focus, missing. Okay, and then, oh, this one, lazy. Oh, busy. And what's that? Okay, so don't know. How? Sundari no good. Me alone only? What else? Oh, too slow. Okay. Any other reason? Okay, if you look at all these reasons, right, I'm quite sure you still have many others, right? I'm quite sure you didn't mention this. Right? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, right? Fear of myself, not worthy. Right? Apa fear lagi? Fear of my wife. Oh, sorry, no. Any others? Fear, no result. No result. Okay. Ada lagi? Okay. Fear of myself. Okay. No, not worthy. Okay. And then what else? Rejection already. Fear of relationship. All right. So basically you fear you want to start relationship. Okay. More? Any more? Rejection all here already. Okay, let's see this list. Tell me which one is actually valid. That means what I'm trying to say is when I say which one is valid, that means on that day when you stand before God, God will accept that, okay, I accept your reason, I accept your excuse. So you are excused, no problem. Which one do you think God will say, it's okay to have this, then I can accept that? Valid, how do you spell valid? Valid? I don't think so. You say fear? Joshua, right? One what? Right? Psalms 23, huh? Right? Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't think discipling will cause you to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Relationship? No, it should not be. John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for his friend. Right? Time factor? Really? Days are numbers. My days are numbered. So that's why God say, lay up treasure in heaven. You don't know how many days you have left. So why do you lay up treasures on earth? So we put, because our time is there, but we give to something else. Focus? Are you sure no focus? Your pastor preach about that almost every Sunday. Right? Lazy? No help lah, this one. Okay, tak boleh help lah. You lazy, what to do? Because it simply means disobedient. That's basically that. Laziness is just basic disobedience. So I have no answer for that. Busy? So we must question, for what is worth more than a soul saved? Who can save others? You say, don't know how? You sure? Check Google. Me alone? John is still here. Too slow? Refer to PowerPoint you saw just now. Any more? So the problem of why is basically not this. Actually, not this. The problem is just me. That's it. Basically that. Why? Because I have not learned to die to myself. I have not learned to die to myself. I still have my dreams. I still have my plans. I still have my there. So it's about me. It's just basically me. So that's the reason why Jesus say, what? Follow me. First of all, deny. So that means all this tadala, this tadala, right? Deny. Then he say cross. That means there is a cost. Mesti painful punya. Okay, mesti painful punya. Mesti ada tears, maybe blood, and maybe money. Right? Then he say, you come follow me. Why? He say, follow me because why? Jesus say, Matthew 4:19, he say what? I will make you fisher of men. I will, not you. I will. God will. Jesus will make you. So that means it has nothing to do with whether you know how or not. It's all simply is, are you willing? So the big question is willing. That's it. So if you are willing, all this can be answered. All these are solved. Then you say, well, who else will go with me? Just me alone? Go and look back at John, I think the last chapter, chapter 16, right? They say, what about him? Jesus said to him, now you go and feed my sheep. Then they asked Jesus, what about him? So Jesus said, what's that to you? That means if he is going to do disciple making or not, if he is whether going to follow you and join in or not, what's that to you? That's what Jesus is trying to say. What's that to you? As for you, he say, right now, you come follow me. You come and do the commission. So I actually want to encourage you to consider seriously. I'm not trying to say stop going to Sunday school. No, I'm just saying put all your Sunday school thing into good use. All your Sunday school you have learned, all the Sunday school, and then all your seminars, okay, all your training, right? All this has been passed on to your big brain here. Now it's time to give out to others. That's what you learn. We can always learn from somebody who have done it before. So we are not expecting that, yeah, we go through one seminar, then we solve all the problem. We just learn. But you say, I have never been followed up before. Well, will you tell the other young Christians, say, sorry, because I'm not being discipled by others, I also cannot disciple you. So you also have to be like me. Nobody's going to disciple you. Are you trying to tell to the next generation of Christians, young Christians, they will never be able to be discipled because you did not receive it? So you could be the one to change the culture. You can become their spiritual guardians, okay? Maybe not as fathers, but as spiritual guardians. And then you're going to guardian all these children, young in faith, and then all the orphans, because there are quite a lot in church. You look for somebody who is younger in faith than you. You look for somebody who actually, I put it here. These are the people you look for. They are available. That means if they are busy, no use. If they have no time to come and meet up with you online, because right now it's even better, right? Online, you don't need to go anywhere. You just online. You just go and say, okay, we Zoom. We have a Zoom time together. That's all. Let's have a half an hour Zoom, 45 minutes, because Zoom has a limit of 45 minutes, right? So 45 minutes, we Zoom and we talk, we pray, and then tackle questions. Then I pass to you what I have learned. That's all. All that I have learned, I pass to you. Then you look for them who are really committed to Christ, who are committed to grow. He wants to. They have that commitment to do that. Then you look for those who are teachable. Okay? That means they're willing to learn from you. If they keep thinking they are better than you, they know all the answer, then you are not fit. They are not fit for you. You find those who say, yeah, I can learn from you. Oh, yeah, all these are Lord's Prayer. I can learn from you. So you teach the Lord's Prayer. And then look for all those who are seeking to grow. Okay, so that's why you need to make sure they want to grow. I'm going to help them to realize. Because there is a saying, Cantonese saying, 牛唔飲水啊，撳到牛頭低啊。Oh yeah. Have you heard of that phrase? Cantonese saying, 如果一个牛是不要喝水的话，不让你做什么都好，它不会喝水的。你不可以把它的头点樣講啊？ How do you say that? You cannot press his head down to drink water, no, if he doesn't want to drink, right? Yeah, you understand that it's good. But if they doesn't want to drink, well, you give them salt. You feed them salt. Then they will get thirsty. Then the day will come, they will drink. And you will show them how. So what is salt? You're going to give them your life. Is a salt. You are the salt of this world. How you grow, how God leads you each day, you share with him, you talk to him. Then he will find that you are very different. Because why? You seems like God is always by your side in every situation, and God shows you how to handle that. I also want that. Then you will be able to show them how. Eventually, you will also ask them, tell them, we have living water. So that's where you're going to hunt for this. You hunt for this kind of people. And you start You yourself, don't worry about, don't aim for class, okay? No, you aim for, okay? 1, 2, or 3 the most, okay? Matthew, Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. That means, well, minimum number is 2. You already got 1, you yourself have 1 already, so all you have to do is find 1 more. And God is there to help you. And we are here to help you. I'm here to help you. And then I'm quite sure a lot of others are happy to help you. And one more mistake I want you to realize is, don't keep thinking about the program. It's not about the program. It's actually about the people. Love, relationship is this. Program is basically schedule. So you're not going to, all these programs, you can break it up into smaller pieces, and then you feed them when it's needed. If they are not hungry, you won't feed them. If they have this, they face this problem. Problem. Then, this one is good. So you feed this one. Problem 1 here. Got another problem. Okay. Problem 2. Okay. Problem 2. Yeah. This one can do. You feed them. That's when they need it. But these programs are the things you already learned. You're equipping. You have been equipping yourself already for so many years. You are growing. So the question at the end of the day is, you are looking that they will copy your example. Because Jesus is your example. Does that make sense? Big blue map. Yes, I can talk better when I draw. Okay, I tell you what I'm doing. I tell you what's going on right now. Since last year, the COVID started, okay? COVID since March, okay? March 2020, right? We have no camp. Not a single camp, no live camp, no nothing, all the way to today, nothing. So during this period of time, mati lah. No income, all this thing, we worry, but we don't care. But then during this time, no camp, well, you couldn't imagine. God has prepared education for me, prepared training. Then now we have groups, DM small groups of 2 to 3 persons. I meet with them almost every night throughout the whole week. So today is what day? Today is supposed to have one. I cancel off because you have an event here. Then tomorrow night I have one also. Wednesday night also have one. Then Thursday is the only free time I have. Then Friday we got one. Saturday, and then Sunday got 2. But all these are very small. Because what I'm doing with them is I am going to try to pass on the things to let them catch the picture. What I call it is the DM culture. How do you spell culture? DM culture. We lost this already. We lost this. You don't see it in church anymore, the culture. The disciple-making culture is not in church. Then it has replaced by classroom culture. Okay. I like to show you something. Somebody sent to me. It's very interesting, so I'm going to show to you if I can find it. Where it is? Where is that? It's here. Let me see if I can find it here. There you go. Hey, didn't see anything. Oh, sorry. There you go. Yeah, this one. I mean, a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? Right? Wouldn't it be easier if they follow our today's corporate standard of training, professional training? Give them notes, hand them out notes. So we have changed our culture. We need to rebuild back the culture, okay? We need to rebuild that establishment, okay? And it is very simple. All you have to do is start from you. Start from just you, one. Then probably it will be 3 years down the road, you will see yourself multiply. Probably by 3 years down the road, you already have about 1, 2, 4, 6. So you already have 8 person around that. That's all. And then you keep doing for the next 5 years, and they will keep doing. Then eventually, after about 10 years or 1 generation, the culture will be totally changed back. A culture cannot be regained immediately over just a preaching or a sermon or nothing. It takes about 1 to 2 generations if you want to change a culture. So, so that's why we can start. I'm trying to do this as much as I can before God calls me home or whatever reason. And then if I can pass on to somebody else, they can carry on, and then they'll pass on to the next generation. Eventually, we will be able to fulfill. Because seriously thinking, right? Seriously, this Christ Commission, right? Do you remember Christ Commission? They say, ask us to do what? Make disciple makers, right? Then to make disciple makers, what do we need to do? 2 things. Baptize, okay? That means you need to evangelize and then add them to the church family, okay? And then you need to teach. That means you need to train them to be like you, because you are like Christ. Now, that's the commission. Okay, so we will have the last maybe 2, 3, 5 minutes question you like to ask, because in a very short time cannot do so many things. You don't want to choke.
So John,
Yes. So
we should change the church game, or not change the rule, but rather when we talk about the class system.
Yeah, I have already changed. I don't call it class. I call it a process. You are having an old version. You're still using the old version, whereby it's called membership class, maturity class. So now we are using as the term, just like disciple making, it's a process that will involve more than the class. I'm not saying the class is not important. The membership class is important. Sunday school class is important, but we are missing the one-to-one. So that's why the game actually speaks a lot when you bring them across. That is a one-to-one. But we missed that point. Last time when we played the game, we are thinking more of the class actually that caused him to change. But it's actually the person. That's why you see the minister and the messengers, they are very effective people. And you also saw that sometimes you can team up 2 persons to bring up 1. That's what team making. The process, the time. But in the game, it didn't tell us how long. Because normal discipleship, probably you take about, to train up 1 person is about 1 to 3 years. Basically, the fastest is 1 year. Yeah. And I don't really like 1 year too fast, because why? I have seen quite a number who actually rise up very fast and fall very fast too. Yeah. So I'd rather slowly make sure he will not fall. and he will repeat the process, because many a times we will just train this person and I realize, oh, he's a disciple now. He know how to study Bible. He know how to do that, and I stop. I have to hang on until I see him help another person who can also do another person. Only then I let go. Just like the second Timothy. Yes.
Yes, with three.
And I can ensure it carry on. Otherwise, we have a mistake thinking, oh, they join my course already, they join my seminar, they join all that I can offer. So they should be able to do it on their own already. But the fact is they don't. The fact is, no, they don't. They just have a lot of head knowledge. And then I realized one weak point in church, especially if you have what they call good preachers, okay, or teachers, or trainers. Actually, they create a barrier that nobody can be like them. So everybody has to depend on them only. So only when they offer class, then can. Then the rest will just say, no way, I can't. So I realized it's more important for us to train up those auntie or uncle, or those doesn't really know a lot of words or education law, because they themselves can teach others, because they say, yeah, if they can, you also can. So I learned this very, it impacted me a lot because of one person is my mom. My mom doesn't know how to read, but she disciples a lot of people. She leads small group. She also can do a ministry. She do evangelism, but she doesn't know how to talk. But now she can be a very good Bible study. We have Bible study every Wednesday, and she can. And my mom is 80 years old, and she's teaching also all the other aunties and all that, and all those. So I think the power of layman, I mean the lay, I'm not you don't, if you know, I mean the ordinary, put it this way, this is a ordinary member, okay, it's very powerful. So I also regret myself as being a pastor, because I put up something people have high expectancy, they will compare, say, oh, cannot, John always good. So next time, like right now, this kind of talk, right? What you're doing, actually, you don't need me. You already can do that. No, Kai can do that. No, all this Ferdinand, you can do that already. Oh, you have all that. So that's why you look, when you watch here, I can see in your eyes, say, hey, nothing new, eh? Heard this already, 3 years ago, you came to Cebu, ma, right? Isn't that true? Yeah, the only change I hope is that you do it, then I'm not here. Then you will force to learn some more. You will not throw the ball to somebody else, because I have children. You see, the point is, if you have children, right, you give up a lot of priorities to make sure your child grow up, right, Kai? Right? Yeah, you have to give up a lot. Okay, even you and your wife also, sometimes you have to give it up. Go to Pak to also give up, because for the sake of the child. So that's why the problem here is not knowing how. You see, just now the question, right? How? This one? Where is that? Oh, yeah. Where is that? Oh, no. Where is that? Anyway.
Over there.
Huh?
Over the other side.
The messy there.
Very messy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The problem is not know how. The problem is basically you don't have a child. That's it. You don't have a spiritual child. If you have a spiritual child, everything changes. Okay. You don't have a spiritual child, well, there's no point to read all the parenting books. Yeah, because what we are doing right now is we are preparing ourselves to be a parent, but we don't even have a son. So that's why we need to have a son. Go and find one who is just giving birth, or go and find an orphan. An orphan is one in the church, haven't grown yet, been in the church with you for some time. They are still spiritually very baby or young. No, just tackle them. And I can tell you, children are very messy. Okay, a lot of problems. You ask Kai, he knows. Very messy, very problem. But the point is, because he is your child, everything doesn't matter. Messiness doesn't matter. Okay, your schedule doesn't matter. It's not like I got time, then I father you. You make appointment with me and my son. No such thing. Now my son is here. My daughter is also here. They already passed 30 years old. Still consider this, daddy has to feed them. As long as you have a child, you will know how. God will help you. So you should be praying, God, give me a son. Give me a spiritual son. Either you go and share Christ, or you go to the church and find somebody who is actually very young in faith, doesn't grow yet. Some baby left there by some parent who brought them to Christ and didn't care much about them. So you pick them up and adopt them. Then you realize, oh, I now got an adopted son. Then the next question is, what should I feed him? Should I feed him milk powder or porridge now? Don't know. How much? Is it too much or too little? Oh, so what kind of what brand? Okay, so I know he needs to learn how to pray, but what kind of prayer should he learn? Should I teach him about the Lord's Prayer? Oh no, too much to memorize. Then he will learn from you, and then eventually he will be like you as a father. And you tell your tell your son, go and have a child. Then he will change. Right? Other than correct or not? Am I saying the correct thing?
Correct.
When the baby came, right? Everything changes, right? Totally, right? All your dreams, right? And you say, wait till I retire. All your dream is postponed until retirement. Just to explain a little further. By all means, you try to look for people who has this. I can tell you, guarantee you will find none.
Okay.
Because why? Because we are in the last days. Just like the scriptures say, we are already in the last days. So the scriptures say very clearly, people will be busy loving themselves. They'll be busy seeking after what they like to hear. They don't want to hear from you. Okay. So we will have a big challenge trying to find these kind of people. So you have to pray, really ask God, give me one. Now I tell you something which I told the group last night. The point is not that God will not give you or God is going to give you. God actually has already given you. You didn't realize it. Because every day, who the person around you are already arranged by God. God see to it, the people you meet actually have two purposes. Either you learn from them or they learn from you. But many a times we just ignore and pass. We pass all this opportunity. We pass by the opportunity to bless him and help him to grow, or we pass the opportunity that you will get a reward because of him. So I am a firm believer about that. Kai knows that already. Life Impact started that way. Life Game started that way, So when Kai came along, I don't even care to find out who is this Kai. Right? We have never met until we were in the game, and then you were sitting by the stairs crying there. Correct? Right? But then you see, God arranged people just nice, and see what Kai has done. Right? But I never imagined. So I don't try to jump ahead of God and say, God, I want this kind of people. No, I don't want. I just have to ask God. I open my eyes to see the people around. Those people you see are not really people I like to work with. But I trust you that you arrange everything in my life. Because you are what? You are all-knowing God. You are all-present God. and you are all powerful, so nothing is impossible. So I'm going to trust you with that. So tomorrow you go, you have a prayerful heart and look around the people you're working with or at home, or you are connecting with WhatsApp. And every person that you connect with, God, could this be the one? And then you realize that God didn't answer you. Because it's true. God say, why do you have to ask me? You go and try lah. Yeah, you just go and try lah. Then they will tell you, is he the one or not? So you don't have to go and find, wow, mana itu orang eh. Where is my Timothy? He's right in front of you. So take that kind of faith. The people you are around with are the people God has arranged. There's a purpose. Either you teach them or they're going to teach you something. Okay? And that kind of experience will be so wonderful. It will be more than just discipling. It will be a long-lasting relationship that you have a lot to talk about when you go up to heaven. I actually am very looking forward to go up to heaven to talk with them, because I got 2 of my people who follow me up has gone back to the heavenly home. Way beyond, I mean, way too early their age. They're younger than me. 2 of them are younger than me. They follow me up. They lost them through sickness now. So I'm looking forward to sit down and talk with them. Oh, remember you took me to your home and showed me all the concordance Bible. You introduced to me what is Bible concordance. I have no idea what is concordance. I was thinking those musical instruments you're supposed to play, you know. Yeah, concordance is actually accordions, right? So I keep thinking, what? You teach me how to play accordions? But he taught me. He teach me how to do Bible study. But he's not a Sunday school teacher. He's just a normal Christian. He just loved to read the Bible, and he liked this kind of book. He just showed me. And then there's the girl lost to cancer. Yeah. She doesn't teach me anything. In fact, I taught her. But she was there to listen to all my problems. And every problem I talked to her, she showed me how God deals with those kind of problems. Wow. So that's the kind of way Jesus discipled his 12 apostles. You didn't see him sit in the field like that. You didn't see him say, okay, we are now on lesson 4 about discipleship and we have 6 more to go. No. Just sit there and then say, hey, go and find something to eat. We are all hungry. Oh, you never know there was a lesson on faith, right? So that's the point about the culture I'm talking about we are missing. So next time when you go out to eat your makan, kambua meal, whatever, don't just talk about kambua. Talk about spiritual life. Talk about the one you're taking care. Oh, I got this problem. He never show up. What to do? Every time I sit and they Zoom there and wait. So, but then she's a young Christian. I'm supposed to do that. So how? Can you help me now? What do I do? Then you hear the other say, pray, Lord. Then you realize actually that's how you tackle all these small little things. And then you realize you grow along with that. All you have to do is shut off those whispers. You say, God, you commanded me to do. It's not a question, I like it or he likes it. I will just obey. That's what you need to learn. My life is like that. I obey, not that I like. If given a choice, I would like to have a different kind of life, but then I already consider myself dead, so that means I have no choice but just to willingly obey my Creator. And now I realize when I obey, I love it. The more I obey, I more love it. So I keep asking God, tell me something to do. So I'm the most happiest man in the world that can play to work. How many of you actually get to say that? You work in order to play, but I play so that I can work. Okay, so you go and pray maybe tomorrow, maybe 1 week down the road, maybe God will touch your heart. Maybe you can say something to this person because this person has always been with you so long. but you just need to open up your mouth and say something. I give you one good way, okay? You want to learn not? Sure works punya. You just tell that person, say, give me a name, give me an example, a person name. What kind of name would that be? Wong ah. Okay lah, Wong ah. Wong ah. You know what? I'm not sure you heard about this John Guan or not. You know, John Guan gave me an assignment and I have to do it. But I have nobody to do it with because I need somebody to do it with. Can you help me? All you have to do is say nothing, answer nothing, just watch what I'm doing. And then after that, you give me a feedback. Then you present to him everything I've shown you just now. You know, God created Adam, then the Adam fall, now the lukewarm Christian, now you show them. Then after that, you show, do you understand what I'm saying? Then you ask them, so which one are you in right now? I'm sorry, I have to ask that because John asked me to ask now. So he said, okay, I'm not the number 3, Lord, the half-hearted here and there, Lord. Then you can tell, hey, I'm like that too. So do you want to come with me and learn together so that we don't have to stay in number 3, so that we can go to number 4? Why not? Well, we Zoom. 45 minutes only, Zoom free, only 45 minutes. Tak boleh lama. Okay or not? So, okay. You got it yourself lah. It works. I'm not sure whether you want to try or not. You just use my name. Just say, John gave you an assignment. He said, I learned something. He said, ask me to do that and draw it to you. But I cannot draw it very nicely. So I'm going to put up my handphone on the side. Now I'm going to show you. Like that. And maybe you will not be able to say everything as I say. But good enough. Okay, picture 1 is like that. Picture 2 is like that. Picture 3 is like that. And picture 4. So which one are you? 3 minutes, you finish already. But you never know, God may be all the while preparing him or her so that they can learn from you.